All right, we're live on the air. This is Flux of fluxwithit.com, and I'm here with Mike, Cilent Cipha of padbangers.com, and also got Joe Swoops, St.
What
Joe
up?
of soundsandgear.com. And yeah, basically, it's been a while since our last show. This is episode 39 of the Producers Hangout. We've kind of had a hiatus as we've all been pretty busy doing a lot of different things. But that's cool because that means that we have plenty of different topics to cover and whatnot. So I'm gonna say what's up to Joe first. Joe, what kind of trouble you been getting into?
Oh man, just staying busy, man. Open a new shop. Got a few good things up in there. Just a little boutique of a few different products, mainly plugins and kind of contact libraries, plugin presets. But I got a few sample packs from Flux and B-Boy Tech and a few others. But yeah, just doing that, and of course, machine tutorials, push tutorials, same old stuff, man.
So
Running a channel.
you're pushing actual hardware out of that shop too.
Yeah, I
So
got a few. Yeah, I got a few like anim module and some synth tech stuff, but it's just kind of getting it off the ground. I got some
is
ideas.
the shop right now? Is it currently the hardware side of it? Is it just Eurorack synthesizer
Yeah,
stuff, or
yeah, for now.
are you going to be adding more stuff to that? Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean it's again it's gonna be kind of a offshoot of what I do on the site, so it's basically just kind of stuff that I'm digging. It's not gonna be everything. I'm not trying to be the Walmart of this gear stuff, but mainly just kind of hand chosen things. As I
Yeah.
make more connections, and so any support is always appreciated because the more support I get, the more stuff I can get in. So,
Cool.
especially when you start
Cool.
thinking about, especially when you're talking about hardware and stuff like that. So
Dope.
yeah, that man, that on top of all the normal stuff, really.
Yeah, yeah, which is a lot for you.
Try, man. I try to stay busy.
And we got Mike over here, man. Mike and I have we've been kind of ships passing in the night lately because he's out there in Germany, so
Right.
our schedules are really difficult to kind of sync them up. But
Exactly.
I'm glad to see you and have a chance to talk with you again, even though it's been a while. What you been up to, man?
Yeah, definitely. It's good to be back here, and I don't have too much going on at the moment. I took a little break from some stuff. Still doing a lot of reviews, and I'm more into learning at the moment. I started learning FM synthesis now. That's a topic I wanted to do for a few years, but never had the time. So I said now over summer I really canceled some schedules and canceled some jobs and really took some more time to learn and develop. So yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
basically it.
I've been really digging into FM synthesis pretty heavily in the past month or so as well. I don't know, I can't really say why. I just I got bit by the bug of FM and just interesting modulations and started I started fiending for some straight up FM gear beyond. Like I've got the Prophet 12, which can do some linear FM. Um, but I started fiending for like some actual like vintage FM gear, and I'm so happy that I saved myself from buying a DX7. I was like I was this close to buying the
Yeah, I'm gonna
DX7
say
too
you
with the
you almost did it.
yeah I
Yeah.
did almost do it. It was the DX7 too with the gray matter expansion, and what I kind of decided was that I didn't buy it because I really just wanted more hands-on control and to be a little bit more. Honestly, I played with the Yamaha Reface, their DX, and I loved it, but I want a full like flagship of that. I want like
Right.
really hands-on FM control that's real-time FM control. But that's not some dinky little. Plus, that thing's four operator, which so is my Prophet 12, and I just oh man, there's room out there for a really flagship FM synth that's not like a montage or
Yeah.
What I can recommend
Chrono
is
show.
I do a lot of music on the iPad lately because there's coming out so much good stuff right now since they have the AU stuff and everything's coming really together and you really can go out and jam on it for really long time, recorded, arranged so many good, almost like full DAWs that you can use and work with it. And I just discovered this app. It's called FM4. It's only $6 or $7, and it's a really, really nice FM synth for learning because it's really slimmed down on the interface. You have full control on all the modulations, and you really easy understand how the carriers and everything work, how the modulation is going on. So, really great app. And
Dope.
I just tried it today with Ableton Link. I've been to my friend's house, and we're setting up Ableton Link with his Windows computer, and we were jamming, and it's so much fun. You just took the iPad. I used the I don't know if you guys can see here, like the iTrack dock for the iPad, and we just plugged in the line out to his mixer and started making music and came up with some really nice sounds, layering synth from the Windows computer and the iPad.
Right.
So
What do
yeah,
you what are you using for recording on the iPad? Like as far as
I
arranging and stuff.
at the moment I like Beatmaker 2, which integrates the AU stuff and all the other stuff from Audio Bus really nice.
Right.
And yeah, I'm looking forward for Beatmaker 3. I just talked to Intua, the developers of them, and they were telling me that I think they said at the end of August, the 31st of August, they will announce some news on Beatmaker 3. So I'm really looking
Yeah.
Oh,
forward for
cool.
that.
Yeah, I saw something like that. I'm definitely looking forward to that as well, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
but
real, dude.
also
Um,
if you just want to use Audio Bus and just need a quick recorder, the Focusrite, what is called iTrack tape or something
the
like
tape.
that.
Yeah, it's called tape.
Yeah, pretty simple recorder, but does the job really good.
Yeah, I've been using that too. It's nice just because it's literally what it says it is. It just emulates a tape machine, and you can just kind of hit record and go. And that's actually it's cool that you say that because that's actually one of the main things. I'm firing up my iPad now. That's one of the main things that saved me from buying that vintage gear because what I found was I actually found an FM synth on the iPad that I absolutely love. I use the what's it called DXI, uh,
Yeah.
and
I started
man,
with that too, but I think it's really hard to understand what's going on.
oh, I love it.
And
I love it. I think
it
I think
sounds really good. It's like a DX7 emulation, right? And I think you also can load in.
it's
Uh,
only 4 operators as opposed to 6, but
yeah.
what's really cool about it is everything is like. See, I feel the opposite of you. Like I feel like it's super easy to understand because the algorithms are right up in the corner. So let me see if I can show it to people. So the algorithms are up here, and then they shake when you hit a key. Like so, you'll see the carriers and modulators shake, and the envelopes will trigger, and it shows you like basically exactly what it's doing, which is
Yeah,
really really
that's
cool.
really cool. But I couldn't even figure out how to change the waveform for the oscillator.
Well, I'm not. I'm trying to remember whether or not you can. I think it's just sine waves on it.
Okay, that might explain why I couldn't
Yeah,
find it.
yeah. I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's just sine waves. Which that's how the FM, what do you call it, the
Oh, and
DX7 is.
for
But
for the people who don't own an iPad, there's a free VST. It's called Dext, and this is an exact emulation of the DX7. It also loads the Sysax presets from the original DX7. This is also really nice for learning.
Interesting.
have you messed with that Volca FM?
Not yet.
Yeah, I was considering grabbing a Volca FM, but again, it gets back to it's only 3 voices, and I kind of wanted a more I want more hands-on control like right away, like without like diving into all that little stuff.
Yeah.
So Sean Shirley of Dark Side of the Tune, he kept kind of saying, yeah, 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 like he's all about it. So and
The Volca?
yeah, yeah, he loves that thing. So which it intrigues me because I really like the Volcas. Like I keep a Volca Beats in the car with me at all times. So like
Yeah,
I
they're
really
great.
enjoy the Volcas. And I modded the little snare drum on it, and
Right.
I really like that series. I wish the sample one didn't need, you know, that stupid interface with the iPad to work, but
Yeah.
I
you
think
know,
they changed it now. Somebody told me they changed it. You don't need an iPad necessarily to uh, transfer
really.
files to it.
Yeah, but you're probably using a computer or something, which still
Yeah.
to me would be better because I hate file handling on iOS. So,
Yeah.
Right.
um,
Right.
you know, that's always my major handicap. That's why, as much as I like Beatmaker and Beat Hawk from UVI, and there's a few other like, you know, all-encompassing apps that I like to use on iPad. But as much as I like those things, I don't use them that much just because I can't stand file saving and importing samples and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it got better over the years now with the audio copy and Dropbox integration and
Hmm.
all that stuff, but
Hmm.
it's still a hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it still takes a couple extra steps.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things that I just wanted to talk about is I have this kind of weird angle on my camera right now, and the reason why is because I built this today. So I'm very excited about this. It's a Eurorack case, using an attaché case like a suitcase, and this is gonna be my dedicated drum synthesizer. So it's gonna have nothing but drum modules in it for the most part.
And then
But
elements.
yeah, I think I'm gonna put elements in there also, and clouds. I have a DIY clouds that I built this as well.
Yeah.
This is clouds. So I built that, and I got a magpie faceplate on it. I need to get knobs for it, but it works. And but yeah, man, this case altogether probably only cost me about maybe $50 to build. I mean, the actual attaché case was on sale for 21 bucks. Um, the rails I actually had left over, but I mean, you know, I cut them to size, but they're
Yeah.
just 84 HP rails. You can get them from anywhere for pretty darn cheap. And then just a tip top power supply, which I'll probably change this for. I think I'm gonna do the Synth power supply because they're
Hmm.
a little bit beefier and they look cooler too. It'll kind of match the black theme. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about it because it actually came together really easily. Um, the hardest part was just setting the rails into the case so that everything was sturdy. But I just kind of
Yeah.
drilled some holes and put some bolts through it, and it's perfect, man. Like it's really cool. So
Dope, man. That's dope.
so while I'm talking, I'm going to be kind of rearranging this Eurorack case, and hopefully by the time I'm done, I'll be able to put it together. Because what I'm going to do up top is I think I'm going to put like a little bit of Velcro, and so because it's going to be a drum case, I'm going to have a Beat Step Pro in here, so
Yeah.
like that. So and then you know the cables will come out the top or whatever.
Yep.
Um, the only thing I kind of wish it did, I wish it had the hinges where you can unhook the hinge so that I could take the whole top plate completely off. That would have
I'm
been
sure.
really nice.
I'm sure you
But
can figure that out.
yeah, but I'm lazy, so
Yeah. It'll be off by next week.
yeah, I'm probably showing all this and I didn't have the camera on it, so now you can see it. So yeah, here. So I'm
No, we
gonna
can
have
see
this
it.
thing. Yeah, but I don't think I had it clicked on for the YouTube people.
Oh,
Now it is. So you know,
Now, wouldn't it be better if you would flip it around so
that's
the
what
beat
I was about
part
to
is
say.
on the
I would.
bottom?
Yeah, I would want
yeah,
the Beat Step Pro on the bottom
like
so I could
yeah. Well,
play
what
it.
I was like this.
Yeah, so the cables don't run across the pads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't fleshed it all out yet. I'm still kind of messing around with it. I got to see how it all fits together when I have it done. I'm just kind of loosely putting modules in right now to see what the organization's going to be. It's 6U, 84 HP. So I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that you know I decide on what modules are going to be in there because I've got you know a decent amount of modules to play with. And then
Right.
yeah, the idea was basically I was thinking about having it this way so that the cables come out here, and then this would be propped up on something,
Yep.
possibly one of those IKEA stands.
Right. Yeah.
I've got a few extra ones of those around here because they're like $3.99. So if you don't buy a bunch of those for your studio, you're silly.
Yep. That makes sense. That's yeah. That's how I would do it. I would flip it and have the
Yeah, yeah,
so you could play so you could still play the drums and not just
yeah, exactly. And
trigger them.
that's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
that was kind of my thinking as well. That's kind of why, yeah. But I'm just not sure what I'm gonna be able to have this up against, to be sturdy with. That's my primary concern right now, is I want to make sure it's sturdy and all. Um, but yeah, it's definitely coming together really fast and
You just need to
ridiculously.
build a kickstand into the back of it somehow, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm wondering what the angle's going to be like when I lay it on that thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll yank these out real quick and we'll find out. Like, I only have a couple of them screwed in just because I wanted to make sure that the rails were spaced properly.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it's. Oh, that one's not screwed in. I should probably screw it in, huh? Hold on, let me screw that in real quick because that one's attached. Um, yeah, man, this has kind of been something that I've been wanting to do for a while, though, is have a nice dedicated Eurorack drum machine,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what this is going to be. The other thing that I'd really like to add is like that new Varigate.
Oh, the Varigate 8.
Yeah,
Man,
that
that thing is crazy.
would
Yeah.
sit here really, really nice to do some pretty cool stuff. So let me grab. I mean, technically I have one right here, but
Now you literally just decided to do this. Like you just jumped on this morning.
yeah.
Yeah, like you text us like, hey man, I think I'm gonna do this, and then we get another text like, I got the case, and another text is like, all right, it's done. Like,
So yeah, I got the case at Harbor Freight, which in the States is like super budget tool place. Like, they're just
yeah,
really, bottom of the barrel tools. And so yeah, the case was on sale for like 21 bucks. I think it was normally like 29. They had a silver one that was a little bit cheaper, but I thought the black was a little bit more James Bondish.
right,
Um,
right, right.
so I've seen some people they get those real thin suitcases. I didn't want to do it with that because I have a couple of modules. This guy, I'm planning. So I'm planning on rewiring this guy because if you
Yeah.
look at it, I did not do this wiring job. So just know that.
Man, you can't take that on a plane.
Yeah,
Right.
really.
That's
So I'm
yeah.
gonna rewire this, but yeah, but it's a deep module regardless of the wiring. So that's why I kind of wanted the thicker case. So this is a dual 258J dual analog oscillator. It's a little bright on the thing here. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's so I'm hoping it's deep enough. Yeah, it's like just barely deep enough for that. So, but again, like I said, I'm gonna have to rewire this thing before I ever do anything with it.
Yeah. You gonna stick that one in that case?
I'm thinking about it just because I really like the sound of analog FM oscillators, and so you run that thing through a low pass gate, and it's gonna sound really freaking cool. So I may toss it in there, and
Nice.
it'll only fit in I think one row of my other case. So it's like it can only go in select places because it's so deep.
Yeah.
Hmm. So let's talk Roland for a second. Um, Roland dropped an announcement that they're going to have 30 new products on September 9th.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that
the
like
in,
NobCon time?
well, that's what I was about to say. The interesting thing about that date is, yeah, it's 909, but it's
Okay.
also the start of NobCon,
How about that?
and they're a sponsor of NobCon this year, and
Mm,
I'll be at NobCon this year. So
nice.
I'm really interested because I've been hearing some rumors for a while now. And I guess I'm not under any NDA, so I can kind of.
What are the rumors, man? Spit it out.
Well, I heard rumors that like literally I can't vouch for any kind of credibility on them, because they were presented to me as rumors and nothing more.
Right.
And but I've heard rumors that there may be some deeper, you know how they did like the IRA modular stuff, the
Yeah.
digital modules that they did.
Hmm.
I've heard rumors of possibly a slightly larger module with more hands-on controls and more CV and can just do more.
Hmm.
Which I'm really hoping that's true because I actually really like those modules.
And those were mainly effects, right?
Yeah, yeah, they were
Okay.
all effects. But I love the System 1M. I think that thing's awesome. It could stand to have a little bit more CV on it. I got it right behind me here.
Yeah.
But I mean, for what it is and for the price point, it's really cool and it sounds fantastic. Like when you have it in like Pro Mars mode, like that thing sounds dope. I don't care
Yeah.
what anybody says. Um, but yeah, like if they're continuing that modular lineup, I'd be really really excited about that. And then there was that old rumor about the what was it, a drum machine
The
sampler or
sampler
something?
thing. Yeah. I mean, I would hope if they did that, man. I mean, that would get me excited. You know. Um,
What
but
kind of form
who knows?
factor would you expect something like that to take? Would you expect it to be like more along the newer IRA TR8 kind of line look, or do you think it would be kind of harkening back to the MV8000 or what? Or even MC909?
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Roland, man. I don't think they would go back though. I think they would kind of it would be a newer, fresher look. It may look like something closer to a DJ style controller or something. Who knows?
Well, yeah, and they did announce the team up with Serato.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so I mean, that I'll be honest with you, I'm not really excited about the Serato thing, but I also don't DJ out anymore. So,
Yeah,
for
I mean, I'm
people
not
who
I'm not
do
DJ at
DJ
all,
out,
but I mean, it depends on what they're talking about. Like
I think what could be possible is like a thing like Pioneer came out with, something with a little touchscreen, some buttons,
right.
and something you can fire up your own loops. Maybe you just record it from, I don't know, from directly from Serato to the hardware, slice it up automatically. Something like that
Yeah.
would be possible.
I mean,
And
the only way I'm slightly interested is because a lot of DJs are slash producers, so I think they kind of see that. So it could be something that interests us as well as the DJ, but we'll see, man. You know.
yeah, more and more DJs are turning into performers of their
Yeah.
own tracks when they're live. So they're not only DJing if they
Yep.
have their own tracks and they bounce out the stems and stuff. They want to
Mhm.
remix it live and play it live. So yeah,
Right.
I think that's definitely a market for them. I personally would hope for something like a TR8 Plus where you can load your own samples on it because I think it was an awesome controller. But with only the 808 and 909 sounds and that was, yeah, for
707s.
me personally that's just not enough because I'm not a huge fan of these sounds. But if they would bring out something with a where you can put an SD card or something like that with your own sounds, that would be awesome.
Or even something that's like along those lines, but is more fleshed out so that it's like a competitor to the now defunct machine drum. Like if it
Yeah.
had like deep
Hmm.
synthesis, it could be digital, but just really deep synthesis
Yeah,
of
or
drum
something like that.
synthesis on there. That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
I mean, I'm hoping for us. I'm still holding out for some type of new hardware sampler, man. I just
Yeah.
from somebody, man. So if it's Roland or Kai, whoever,
Hmm.
I hope somebody does something. I mean, I know we've been talking about that for like years, like going back to '09, '08, but somebody's got to do it at some point because you can kind of see things go in cycles, man. Like people, like you said, a lot of people are performing their own stuff and then like just having these standalone boxes to throw into their sets and different things like that. So I'm thinking somebody is going to do something. I mean, even the Pioneer, I mean, it's not super deep, but it's still something that I want to check out just because there's just
You
something
know,
about that standalone workflow. You know what I'm saying?
that
I don't,
thing
I
that
don't.
thing actually looks fun, but my issue with it is more like the price point and
Yeah,
the price point for what it is, I should say. And it's like, oh yeah, you're using the Curtis filters in Dave Smith, so
yeah.
it's got this high price tag, and I'm like, but those aren't exactly the filters that I like all that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean it is what it is, but and of course that's definitely a marketing thing. But I mean it's an analog filter, so that for some people that makes a difference. But I mean, what is it like 1,500? I mean, I can't say I really would expect anything lower, honestly, when you have controllers that are $1,000 these days.
well,
I
Yeah,
mean,
and I mean
I mean,
it's Pioneer. They really want to
yeah,
stand out as the high-end brand for
yeah,
DJing and stuff. So
yeah,
they just can't bring out a module like that for $500.
Right.
Yeah, that would destroy their whole brand and their whole image.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm interested to see what the actual overall workflow of that thing is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the main thing that matters. But I mean, it's still even as I mean, 'cause guys like us can look at it and say, "Oh man, it's missing this, it's missing this, it doesn't have this," but it's still it's a standalone machine, man. It's a sampler, you can
Yeah,
slice
yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff
for
in it,
sure. It's
you
definitely a
can.
hole in the market right now.
So yeah, it's definitely something I want to check out and get my hands on, at least see what it's about, 'cause I mean, it looks decent, you know.
Yeah, I'd like to see Roland really come back with an MV, like a
Yeah,
really, and we talk about this all the time, but like a major
dude.
update to the MV 8000 series would be so nice. And if it was really forward thinking, you know what I mean? Like maybe
Yep.
give it like, some control voltage, or do some things differently. Give it some interesting hands-on controls that we haven't really messed with yet, or like ability to be a granular sampler, and do
Right.
more than just the typical rehack. Like when Machine came out, it was like, okay, well, that was a new take on that whole hardware
Yeah.
sampler setup, and they brought it to the hybrid world where you had a nice controller but it was software.
Yeah.
But even though they did that, the bare nuts and bolts of it is still like nothing all that groundbreakingly new, as far as like the actual things that you could do with its sample engine.
Right.
There's no granular sampling, there's none of that, like really interesting stuff going on. Even like the loop playback, it doesn't even have stuff that like an ASRX had years and
Yep.
years ago, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm looking to see somebody who's not scared to push the envelope, and aren't going to just sit here and be like, oh, well, our users are too stupid to understand, if we
Yeah.
make it this complex.
I
No,
mean,
make it that complex, and they can use just this little chunk if they're
right.
scared. But give us the whole smorgasbord of awesomeness that people have figured out over the last decade.
I think that's gonna take an independent company, like a smaller boutique company. I just don't think these larger companies are willing to take risks like that these days. They're gonna do
I
what
still think Electron
they're
is
gonna do.
is
Yeah, but
primed to their next set of boxes, because
but I don't consider them a huge company though.
yeah,
Like
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like
you
they're
know,
they're a boutique company, like what you're
right.
saying. And what
Mhm.
I'm saying is that they had to have made a decent amount of cash off of the Octatrack, Rhythm, and Analog 4 for that size of a company, to where they should be able to invest some real R&D and make their boxes look, to me, like their boxes still look very, small company. You know what I mean? They still look
Mhm.
very, they're boxes, and they're,
Yeah, I mean, but until they put a bigger screen and improve that UI,
yeah,
man, like
that's what I'm saying.
it's gonna remain a niche. It's gonna remain a niche market. There's people that love it, man, but it's not gonna be as widespread just because of the work. I mean, they do things their own way, which is,
But
is
that's what I'm
cool,
saying is that
but
now they've got the money to where they can actually do things that maybe they wanted to do but couldn't do before, and the user interface may have been compromises consisting of that. But like, imagine if
yeah,
they teamed up with somebody like Teenage Engineering or something on it, or even Teenage Engineering came out and did something as a flagship, because really it's been a while since the OP1 came out. That
definitely.
OPZ, I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting and all, but let's be realistic. That's not like a serious device in your studio. But they
Yeah.
clearly are smart enough to do something on a large scale.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I can't see anything like that, like what we're talking about coming from them. Maybe an Electron, but I don't know. I think maybe somebody new, man.
Yeah,
Like somebody out there that's new that has the ideas and
yeah.
has the backing to be able to put something just brand new. I think that's what it's going to take to shake up that thing, because
And you see
otherwise you're just
Thud
going to get a lot
Rumble.
of the same safe things. I mean, even the Pioneer thing is still it's pretty standard. It's pretty safe. It's newer. It has the touch screen, but it's still kind of the same concept that we're used to. So, like I said, I think it's going to take somebody that's really new to the game, man, and not afraid to branch out. Maybe one of these larger companies will, partner with a smaller brand or something like
That's
that.
what I'm
You
hoping.
know,
You
and
see the guys over at Thud Rumble and DJ
exactly.
Abramovich and
Yeah, I mean,
Sampling.
like they're doing
You
some
know,
crazy stuff, man. Like
yeah.
I seen a picture where they had like the controller, like the DJ controller, but like everything was in the mixer. Like it was had the screen and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have to carry your laptop and all that stuff. So I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna have to come from somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? To really push something forward and really come out with something that really just gives us what we're looking for, man.
Maybe I need to get like a foam block or something that I can store in here that will hold this thing upright. Sorry, that's my ADD, like on full force.
You just need a kickstand on the back, man. Like weld something to the back of it that you can fold in and out, and you'll be good.
I don't think I'm welding anything in this thing, but yeah, I'm gonna have to
Oh,
figure
I'm
something.
pretty sure you know. I'm pretty sure you know. Well, you can figure out something, man. Bolt it
You
in the
could also
bottom.
put in some straps on the side so it won't fall over.
Yep.
I'm thinking, yeah, like maybe you're right. Maybe I can get something that'll go along here that I can fold out, like a piece of metal that'll just fold out. I don't know. That could work.
Figure it out, man.
I
Figure it
gotta
out.
figure it. I need to I need to stop pretending to be an engineer and find a real engineer to do it.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, something about the current setup of technology that I've been using to make music has been so I've pretty much switched from using Machine Studio primarily to now using Push 2. And the reason being is I just got sick and tired of waiting for Native Instruments to pull their head out of their ass and really
Right.
kind of evolve the platform like they've been saying that they would do forever.
Yeah.
So I switched over to Push 2, and Push 2's been really like, dude, their updates have been crazy. Like, and just recently, their public beta, it's got all the, you can jump in and adjust your input settings and
The
everything. You can
routing
do
and
your
everything.
sampling, and
Yep.
basically, like, I legitimately think that that's going to replace the vast majority of my music making controllers,
Yeah.
and devices like that. And it's easier for me to like sample in the Tempest or which you can't see right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
There it
it,
is.
it's easier to like bring those pieces in and like the Rhodes or something like whenever I'm doing
That's,
that.
man, yeah, Ableton is so dope with capturing audio, man. Like I've been telling you for years though, man. I'm just glad you're finally seeing what I'm talking about. So
Well, you know what? It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that most recent public beta where they
I agree.
actually allow you to change inputs from
Yeah,
the
that's
controller,
huge.
because
That's huge.
that's massive for me. Like I really can't stand like getting in a workflow on a
Yep,
controller and then having to stop and like go to a mouse or something. Like to me that takes me completely
totally.
out of the flow, you know?
Yep.
See,
And
that's interesting because that update for me personally is totally useless because I have all my audio routings as a preset that I can just load up from Push since 9.5.
Yeah, but the
yeah,
difference is that I change my audio routing constantly, like mid-session. Like I'm constantly changing what's
Okay, yeah,
going into
yeah,
where.
see, yeah, I got a very my setup is constant, so
yeah. I'm kind of like Mike, man. Like I had a template set up, which I've told you before. I had a template set up with all my inputs, because my interface has a bunch of inputs. So I don't really change inputs in terms of my hardware. So I had a template set up with all that stuff. But it is, I mean, still being able to maybe if I want to add a template or add a track, being able to just quickly change my inputs and outputs and
yeah,
things like that. It's definitely welcome, man. They needed it, even if it
yeah.
wasn't something that was stopping me from working. It was still something I was constantly pushing for because it's
Well,
definitely something that I feel like they
less
need.
than stopping me from working, it was more about me finding other solutions that did handle that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then
Well, I
so
mean, yeah, if it
I would,
causes you to stop in your workflow, that's like So I mean, it's something I'm definitely glad they did it. Like it's needed.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because it's just one less thing that people can complain about. You know
And
what I'm
I'll be
saying?
honest with you, man, the build quality of that controller is better.
Yeah.
Like it's leaps and bounds better. Like it makes Machine Studio feel cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the build quality is dope.
You know?
It's definitely substantial. It has some weight to it too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
not
and
just
it's
that, just
and
the finish as well. The finish is nice. Yep.
yeah, it's pleasurable to work on, which I was kind of skeptical about a few aspects of it, but pad sensitivity is great. I can finger drum on it, no
Yeah,
problem.
I mean, I for me personally, I still feel like machines pads are a bit more responsive. I still
A
haven't quite.
little bit.
I still haven't quite. I mean, I can get down with push, but I think going back and forth between playing drums and then playing instruments on it, I haven't quite found the curve that kind of works well in both situations for me
Yes, yeah, I
personally.
set up
So,
a special one on mine, and I haven't really had an issue with it. Early on, there were some versions that I felt like it was kind of stiff,
oh
but
yeah, it's much better than it was. They definitely keep improving it, which is all you can really ask for, man. And the fact that they're constantly trying to improve that. But and I'm a really light player, so I like to be able to play like if I just barely brush the pad, I want to
yep.
be able to hear it. So
Well, see,
that's what
I can
I'm
do
looking
that on my
for.
push, no problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's any tolerance differences there, but I'm telling
Yeah.
you, on
I
To
mine,
mean,
me,
it's
initially
I can
hardware.
trying
crab.
to.
I can crab like on a DJ mixer. I can crab on my pads, and I get
Yeah.
like all the dynamic nuance of crabbing on it, which is crazy.
Right.
Um,
Have you guys messed a lot with the custom settings for the responsiveness? Because
Oh
I
yeah.
really needed some time until I find my setting.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely. I mean, I mess with those things all the time. Like I'm constantly tweaking, and I got it pretty close. But
Mhm.
um, like I said, I still do think that the machine pads are just a little bit more responsive. I don't know if it's because they got bigger sensors or what, but just a tad bit for my
I
for
would
my
still say
purpose.
that
Yeah,
both of them, like both machine and push two, their pad sensitivity is easily the best two out there that I've felt. Like I mean,
oh yeah, they're dope.
they're way better than the Tempest. They're way better than any of the Arturia pads. You know,
Right, right,
they're
definitely.
better than the MPC ones even.
Mhm.
And the MPC ones have gotten pretty good. Like, which is funny that you have to say that now because it's like it used to
Right.
be they were the gold standard, and now I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, they're catching up. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how are you liking that MPC Touch?
I mean, it's the touch is I'm not a fan of the MPC software, so the touch makes using it a lot easier and a lot funner. But at the end of the day, for me, it's all about workflow, and I just feel like there's still just too many steps for certain things. But I'm definitely excited to see, like that 2.0 software that they were showing at NAMM really has me
Hmm.
excited. Like really,
That's
really
still
has
not
me
out yet,
excited.
right?
No, it's not out yet, but when that drops, yeah, I'm really kind of just that's really what made me want to mess with the touch, honestly. Like when I went to NAM and saw that 2.0 and saw what they were trying to do, I'm like, yo, I need to get my hands on this thing and
It's
see what's up.
interesting because it's like they showed that to us, and I had a long talk with Dan Gill, and I posted a interview with him up about that, and as I was talking to him about it, like I knew that he was expecting me to be an asshole
Right.
because like I had really grilled him in previous years, and I think when he saw me coming up, he was like, oh, he's gonna come out here and just try to post some garbage about us or whatever, and that really wasn't the case. It was you know everybody gets a fresh start, when you're working on
Yeah.
something new, and
Right.
the direction that they're heading now looks really promising.
Right.
It looks really,
Yeah.
really good. And so I'm rooting for him to do a whole lot better because I really was pretty disappointed in the original MPC Ren and basically what all went down with that. But
Yeah.
the path that they're taking now, it looks really good, and I'm still interested in whether or not they're going to do a hardware system, like a dedicated hardware unit, because
Yeah.
they did that Microsoft conference and they had the embedded Microsoft, machine or
Mhm.
MPC, and you know, I feel like they know that a lot of their fan base still wants a dedicated hardware sampler, so I feel like that's still coming. Like
Right.
I can't picture them ignoring that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've learned a lot since the Ren and all that different stuff, and like I said, just kind of watching and seeing what they're doing. I mean, I agree. I definitely think they're going to do something. I don't know what. I have no knowledge of exactly what, but um, like I said, I'm really looking forward to the new stuff from them. That's all I can really say. Like I'm really
Yep.
definitely, I mean, just like I said, even just from the stuff I saw them doing with the software in the 2.0, it's like you know
Oh yeah.
definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Now,
So
Mike, are you using the MPC?
No, I had it for testing, and but yeah, it's the same like you guys mentioned before. I think I had the RAN here, and I think the quality was so much better than the MPC, and I really liked the integrated audio interface where you could add the your record player to it and sample from it without a computer and stuff like that. And I like that, but the software is just too complicated, too many unnecessary steps that makes it feel slower than other stuff I have here.
Right.
Do you have an older MPC in your studio? Do either
Me?
one of you? Like a
Not
hardware
anymore.
unit?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Not since the
I still
4000.
have three of them here, and I can't
Yeah.
get rid of them just because I'm like,
Oh, I mean, I still I constantly look at 4000s on eBay in different places, man. Like if I see one for a good price, I'm gonna snag it. Like that thing, it's that nostalgia too, man. And then
yeah.
again, it's that longing to be able to just break away from the computer, man, and just make something
Well, let
too.
me ask you about this. So we all kind of come from a hardware perspective of long-term usage. So when you got rid of your 4000, right? And I don't know if Mike did this either, but or not just the 4000, but like any of your hardware gear that you stored beats into. So
Hmm.
if you had like a MoFat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, did you guys ever yank the hard drives or anything like that out of those things and replace them with a fresh one and then keep it? Or am I
No.
the only idiot doing that?
No, I just backed up. I just backed up all my stuff and cleaned it. I
Yeah.
always usually just factory reset stuff.
I have jazz drives. I don't know if you guys remember jazz drives. I got jazz drives for my DPS 12, my Akai DPS 12 multi-track. I have
Yeah.
hard drives for my Roland VS 1680s and
Yeah.
VS 880s and those things.
Yeah.
I've got. I still have. Matter of fact, as we were talking earlier, the whole reason why I decided to make that case was this guy right here. This was my old MPC case with all my zip disks in it.
Right.
And like I still have all of my hard drives that I yanked from my old gear. Before I would sell it, I would yank the hard drives out of them, if
Yeah.
possible, and then replace them, with a clean hard drive, so that if I ever bought that piece of gear again, I could install the old hard drive and I'd have all my old beats back.
Hey, I mean that's dope. That's a dope idea, definitely. I'm
Yeah,
just
I,
when I was selling my stuff, I wasn't thinking about going out buying a hard drive to, you know.
I actually never worked like with a full standalone system. I always used to work with the computer. I used to have a S900 with an external SCSI drive and all that stuff, but even at that time when I had the S900, which was like, don't know, maybe early 2000s,
Yeah.
uh, I always I always thought it's just too slow. That
Right.
time I had to power up that S900 and load it in a simple drum set. I used
Yep.
FL Studio and Reason at that time. The time it needed to load the samples, I would have finished 3 beats
Yep.
on the computer, and
Exactly.
so I never got used to it. So, but the funny thing is, at that time everybody switched over to the computer because it was so much more convenient to work with than with standalone stuff. Now everybody wishes back the standalone stuff to get rid of the computer, and I totally can understand that. But even I have like bad experiences with the slow hopper stuff. Sometimes it's just everything that brings me away from handle that mouse and
Yeah.
stuff, and it makes me feel more like like a tunnel view, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time I have to grab a mouse, it interrupts my workflow.
Yeah.
So I really can understand that wish for standalone hardware these days.
Yeah, especially where technology is, because that I mean that's one of the reasons, I sold the MV. Like the MV guys, you guys know I always say it was my favorite standalone workstation, groove box, whatever. But it was just so slow, man. And me and my boy M Simp were talking the other day, man. He's like, "Yo, I seen somebody throw a SSD drive in the MV." I'm like, I literally have thought about that many times. Like if I just get one and throw a
Did it
SSD in
improve it?
there, will it be faster? And it was like, it looks like it's loading stuff faster. I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like that may be something I would do, but
You,
it
you
is,
see me
it's
perked
that,
up now.
well, it's just the technology. So that's why I'm so excited now I'm like, if someone puts out something now with the technology we have now, I think we wouldn't have to deal with this, that slowness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The speed of the drives, and the
I
way
do
we have
want to look
solid
into that,
state.
man. You got me.
You
You
know,
got me really like. I'm
like
like
it's
itching to look into that now, cause
Well, I
yeah,
mean, it's just, if you think about the way we have, solid state and just the memory we have now, a lot of stuff, everything's faster, the processors and all that stuff. So it's like if someone were to put out a modern standalone unit, man,
yeah,
it's like I think some of those frustrations would be gone because it's like, you wouldn't have to deal with the SCSI drive. I mean, you could probably deal with, SSD or even just SD cards, micro SD cards, different stuff like
Yeah.
that, man. So who
I mean,
knows?
what I really think is like kind of the future is like a hybrid system, something you can
Yeah.
work on totally standalone, but then you
Yep.
just plug in a USB cable and you can use all your VSTs with it, or even
Exactly.
the way Roland started to go with the plug out stuff,
Yep.
which is kind of like a step into that direction. So you have your stuff
Exactly.
on your computer, but you can say, okay, let me load this and this and this VST onto my hardware and just keep it standalone
Yep.
there.
well, listen,
Definitely.
So
that was kind of bringing us back on topic a little bit about Roland. So that was one of the other things is that there's rumor about a System 8 that would have that would be able to hold multiple of those
Mm.
plug outs, and then
Mm.
also be full size keys and have the System 1M CV inputs on it, as well as all the knobs and everything in a keyboard form. So here's my question
Yeah.
to you: one, what do you think something like that would sell for? And then two, with that price, would that deter you from buying something like the DeepMind 12 that's coming out, or any of the other larger form synths that are
It,
full size synths that are out now?
I mean, it would probably what? Because the system 1M is what, 599,
yeah, something
Somewhere,
like that.
yeah, right around there.
and then the system one was what, 699.
Yeah,
The
but I
little
think
keyboard.
either way, you can get either one of those right now for probably about 450
Well,
something.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
what their retail price
Okay,
was.
I got
So
you.
if they were to come out with a full size key, I mean, we talking like 49 or 61 keys? I mean, are they gonna be
Well,
mini
I mean,
keys? They're gonna be mini
Let's say
keys.
it's
Are they gonna be
let's say it's 49 keys, right? Which is
and
full size keys?
when they say
yeah,
System 8, will it also have like 8 voices instead
Right.
of
That's what I want
only
to
yeah.
know.
That's
4?
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm
Okay,
thinking. And again, this is all a rumor.
I mean,
but but it's
that.
it's digital, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
same
okay, then
technology.
I'd say they can't sell it for more than 800. 799. That's
Nah,
But you're talking about twice as
yeah,
much power inside of the thing.
yeah, I can't. I mean, because that's the little one was like 699.
Yeah, I would be thinking closer to like 1,000 to 1,200.
That's what I would
okay.
think.
You guys talking dollars? I was thinking euros. Okay, because it was like
Oh, okay, got
500 euros. So uh,
We're
800
catching
euro
we're
would be
catching up. Our
about.
dollar is catching up to your euro, so you better back off.
you. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would think around right around under 1,200. Between a
Yeah.
thousand 1,200.
Let me
Would I buy that over a deep mine? I mean, I don't. It depends on how they sound. I mean, because you know,
Yeah, I think
you think
sound
about.
wise they're very
Yeah,
different.
yeah, like sound wise they're different, but you got to think about being able to have these different plug outs because their plug outs sound really good. Roland's
That's
plug
what
outs
I'm gonna
sound
say.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you gotta think about being able to have, because if they do something like that, then you got to think they would do a plug out for like the Junos and the Jupiters and different
Or
stuff
just
like
port
that.
over the
Or
boutique
the
things to it.
Yeah, that, and then you got the Pro Mars and all this different stuff. So like
That's the other rumor
being
is that
able being able
supposedly
to
there's going to be three more of those boutiques. So then you have
well, I mean, yeah, I mean
more
that's
to choose from.
yeah, I mean, I
If
guess
all
I
that
mean
is a plug out,
yeah, the boutique is. I mean, it's cool. That's not. I wouldn't buy the boutique. I'm
yeah,
not
but
gonna
what
buy
I'm
the
saying
boutique.
is that
But
if you're doing three more of those, then those could potentially be plug outs because they make a
exactly,
lot of
that's
them.
that's what I'm thinking about with the Roland, with that whole system thing. Like being able to have those models and plug those out and put them in the hardware. It's definitely something that I would take notice of. You know what I'm
And
saying? Especially if
honestly,
we're talking eight voices, poly, because you start getting into some of my favorite.
that
Uh,
Pro Mars, if
yeah,
you have somebody in the studio and you don't tell them what synth you're playing, and
that
then
thing
you
sounds
start
amazing,
smoothing
dude.
the filter and whatnot, dude, if you can choose, if you can pick that out as being digital, then you're really freaking impressive with your ears.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I've
I'm definitely
really
interested, man.
struggled to pick between Monarch and my actual Moog, and
Mhm.
I was the only way I was able to even tell was because the envelopes I felt were a little bit snappier on the the Monarch, but that was
Right.
literally like, and that's not even like so much a sound thing as like a speed thing, like the way that dynamically it was reacting. So to
Mhm.
say that like the digital can't sound as good as the analog to me would be crazy, so that kind of goes out the window. And at that point, you're looking at, well, how much hands-on control do you have,
That's it,
and
man.
what
Like,
kind of flexible routing do you have,
uh, yeah, if they come out with that thing, man, it has all those knobs and faders, and you mean to tell me like I can change the engine at any given time? Like, yeah, that's something that I would definitely have to consider. You know what I'm
and I
saying?
would
Because
really look at.
I love the sound. I always liked the sound of it. I was like, the rack is cool, but I would prefer keys. I didn't really like the actual System One keyboard layout at all. So,
Yeah,
but I always wish I'm like, man, if they had something bigger and where it's more of a polyphonic situation.
and a real
So
keyboard, not
yeah,
that.
real keys, like
Yeah.
yeah, if they yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I would be
saying? We'll see.
really into it, but it would make me really have to take a hard look at where my money goes, because man, I
Yeah,
tell you, I personally really enjoy how those plug outs sound. To me, like they're every bit as good as anything analog in my studio.
right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
Mike, would that skeeve you out spending money on the digital over the analog like that, or no?
Well, first of all, I'm not a person that says I would always prefer analog over digital.
Right.
Um, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I don't really care.
Exactly.
Honestly, I had the Minilog here, and it's full analog, and for the price, that's okay. But that was it. I was not really excited when I had it here. I think it sounded okay, but for analog, it sounded actually pretty cold to me.
Right.
And when I see the Ultranova with their drift settings for the oscillators, it can sound just as analog as a real analog Minilog. So if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Right.
But I have to say, if they really come out with, because I'm really interested in the boutique sound-wise, but I don't like these small modules. So if they really come out as
Exactly.
plugouts for that System 8, that could be a real deal
Right.
breaker for me uh for the Behringer.
Yeah.
Because at the moment I really like the Behringer because it sounds like it has this Juno-ish style, sounds really good for strings and pads and all that, and with the built-in effects. But who knows? Maybe if the
Right.
System 8 comes out and all these boutiques come out as a plug-out for it, that could be really, really good.
Yeah, man. Like, cause the boutiques did sound good. Like they sounded
Yeah,
good,
they
and the
sounded
plug outs.
fantastic.
And the plug outs, man, I always said the plug outs sounded good. Like I've downloaded demos of the plug outs. I'm like, man, these things really sound good. But it's just like the form factor of the System One and the System 1M and stuff. I'm like, I just never
Yeah,
quite bit the bullet. But they come out with a keyboard where I can actually throw those modules into it, man, and it
yeah,
changes. And it's like the same way that the System One works, where it's like only the controls that go with this synth, light up and all that different stuff. I'm like, man,
yeah,
that could be a
You
nice
know what my
situation.
issue with the System One is, more than anything, is just the fact that I can't store multiple uh,
Yeah,
plug outs at one time on
exactly.
there. Like I
That's what
can
I'm
only
yeah.
have
saying.
So
one
if
plug out.
if they will
And
make it multi-timbral, and you can stack a Juno sound onto an JP sound and stuff like that, man,
that
this
would be
thing
dope.
that would be killing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be happy if they let you store more than one model in the unit at a time.
Yeah,
Like, what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got
and
eight.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
we got
they,
because
eight
they
different models.
because
they're
I don't
even
want to. Yeah, I don't want to have the 101 and the Pro Mars and then have to decide which one is on my system at the time.
yeah,
Yep.
You
and
know what I mean?
aren't they even more limited? So if you have like a plug out on it, you only can store like what, 8 presets or 10
Yeah,
or
that's it. You can. I think you can store a total of 16. I don't.
okay.
I'm a douchebag. I don't store presets. Period. Like unless I'm doing sound design, like I don't
Right.
store presets. So that doesn't really bother because there's so much hands-on control that like I can
Yeah.
make my preset in what 5 seconds. Because it's like I know what I need to set to. And
Right.
half the time, even if I have a preset, I'm changing it anyway because I'm just having fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you, but you have to think about people who putting this thing on stage.
Oh, you're absolutely right. No, yeah, for sure. That's something that to me it's like there's a lot of like really weird things about it. Like, okay, you put all that power under the hood and all, but there's like no memory. So it's like, why would you not have had enough memory in that thing to like, would it have really cost that much more to have
Yeah,
enough memory to store like
exactly.
four
That's the
plug
thing. I
outs,
mean,
250
memory is so
presets?
cheap these days. They
Yeah.
could build it in any device. So I don't get it.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, man. Like that would be a tough call for me, on personally, because the kind of the draw for me with the deep mind with the M12. I'm gonna call it the M12 just because, yeah.
Because that name is
That,
ridiculous.
yeah,
I will
so
say.
the draw with that is it because it does have that Juno-ish sound to it that a lot of people are interested in. Of course, it does its own thing and it's definitely super flexible from what I can see. It does some really really cool stuff. I mean, some really awesome stuff. But it's like, okay, so you can have this, or you can have all these different models from the people that this is kind of built after anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not like the rolling plug out stuff doesn't sound amazing. Like it sounds really good. So it's like that would be a toss up for me, honestly, man. I would have to play them. Like that's
I
the
tell
only
you
way
what.
I would have to play them both and see which one really sounds the best to me and which one inspires me the most.
Well, you know how I love doing like really nerdy shootout videos and
Yeah,
whatnot. That would actually be a really fun shootout. It would
yeah,
you could do a DeepMind 12 with, up against something like a System 8 or whatever that's doing a Juno 106 sound. Because
yeah,
isn't that what the DM12 is basically based on? And then do a shootout between the
yeah.
two. Like, and granted, listen, these things have no musical value when I do those types of videos, but they're just
It's just nerd
it's
stuff. It's
fun for
fun, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun for synth nerds. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep. Definitely.
but I mean, yeah, I'm interested to go to NobCon this year because both Roland and hopefully Behringer slash Midas will be there.
Hey, I'm looking
Um,
forward to you and Corey's coverage on that, man, because
they contacted me a
I'm
while
definitely
ago
excited.
and said that they might be there, but they never actually confirmed. So I'm still kind of hoping that they confirm that they'll actually be there because
Yeah.
I bought my room, I bought my plane ticket.
Well, at least we know Roland's going to be there, right? Are they?
Yeah.
He said they're
Roland, from what I hear, they're a sponsor, but beyond that, I don't know what kind
okay.
of presence they'll have. And there's some bourbon company that's going to be there that's a sponsor too, so I'm happy about that.
We know you are. We know you are.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, NobCon coming up is I'm really looking forward to it because I have a feeling that this is going to be a breakout year for NobCon.
Hmm.
Last year I heard was really great. Um, the fact that they have that kind of Back to the Future flux capacitor vibe going on for all their
Right.
flyers makes me really happy. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what shows up there that's unexpected because I know some of the expected things,
Right.
but there's you know that's one of those places where it's like these little manufacturers can come and blow your mind away,
Yeah,
So
man. I mean,
I'm really looking forward
I
to it.
definitely wish I could make it out this year, man. But prior engagements and all. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the coverage from you guys, man, because it looks like it's gonna be cool. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and plus we're gonna have two live shows from there, so we'll do Beat People and Synth Summit show live from there,
Right.
and maybe even a producers hangout if I can get a hold of Mike and
Right.
we can make that happen. But I would be all for it. I'm gonna be live streaming too. Like I'm heavily debating getting. I found like this really dorky. It's like a chest strap that'll
Yeah,
hold your phone.
I thought about doing that at NAM one like last year, man. Like I just
Yeah,
carrying it around, but
I'm really considering doing
yeah,
that and just live streaming to Facebook. Like I thought about doing it to what's the other one?
Periscope.
Periscope, but I think Facebook would probably be better for that. But like just live streaming it, or even
Right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
and live stream the whole event right there. I'm just worried that a lot of people like to say things to me off the record, and then
Right.
like I'll get
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wear a sign that says live streaming now.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I gotta have a big blinking on air light above my head. Like I gotta get a hat that just says on air.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
let's hope their Wi-Fi bandwidth is big enough so you guys can really
Yeah, and
stream it.
that is the other
Right.
thing. I mean, it's a pretty from what I understand, that area should be fine. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, well, either way, I'm still looking forward, whether it's live or videos or posts, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to y'all's coverage, man, because it really looks like a cool event. Definitely cool event. I definitely got to
I'm
get
looking
out
forward
there
to
one of
having
these years,
real
man.
deep dish pizza.
Oh man, dude, I love
Corey of
Chicago. I
B-Boy Town
love Chicago.
Report
Oh
lives in
man,
LA but is from Chicago, and he's
yeah,
promised to
dude,
take me to hit some real
bro,
dish spots.
man, that I'm probably more jealous of that than anything. Like
We're
every
all
time I've been,
foodies
I mean
here.
I've been, yeah, yeah. I mean I've been to Chicago a few times, man, and I always even tell my family about it. My son went with his class this past summer, and he finally was able to actually taste it. He's like, yeah, he's like, you wasn't lying, man. That was incredible.
Well,
So
listen, we're getting ready to close out the show, but before we do, I just want to I'm gonna pose a kind of like a poll question to the audience, all right? And this is extremely important, so please comment about this. When you cook steak, he knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
When you cook steak, okay? If you how should I word the question?
just put it out there, man.
All right, listen. If you cook
Just
steak,
ask him, do you
okay?
cook it or do you
Do,
not cook it?
do you
That's the
cook it or do
question.
you not cook it?
Just raw meat.
Listen, if your steak is anything other than medium rare, is it wrong? Okay?
Not at all.
If you cook it to well done, where Joe likes his steak
Yes.
well done gray, is that ruined steak? I believe it is.
Yes.
And
Not at all.
Yes.
Look, man, I'm not a vampire. I want no blood in my meat. None at
we
all.
go back and
I
forth
cook my
on
food.
every week. So
We
I need
do.
to
I
ask
think
the audience
it's
to
funny.
please comment.
I think we both like cook steaks every week because
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
always
we
texting
do.
back and forth. She's like, no, this is right. He's like, no, this is right. Look, however you want to eat your steak is fine, fine with me. But
Joe, you know the new Focusrite Claret 8 Pre X, right? The new interface that
yep,
I got, right?
yep,
So it's down here, and you see that
yep,
red? That's
yeah.
what color your steak should be.
Not at all. Not at all. You should be arrested for that.
It should be a hue of Focusrite.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
It
Definitely
should
not.
still move when you put your knife in it.
That's right. You want to
Hey, my steak,
sear the
still
outside, and
moves.
that's it.
My steak is not tough at all, but it is cooked. It is cooked.
Man, he says it's not tough. Listen, I saw his steak. It looks like concrete gray.
Lies. Everybody else in the text was happy with the steak. Flux is
No,
the only one.
no, that's not okay. It was a travesty what you did. Those
And then
those pals died.
you come posting this steak that looks like a stop sign. I'm like, bro, what is that? What is that? Like, why you even? There's no point in even putting any heat to it. You might as well just eat it straight raw.
All you gotta do is run past it really fast with a dip lighter. That's all you gotta do.
That looks like what you do. That looks like exactly what you do.
Man, listen, my steak is what you call perfection.
Look,
Listen,
man, it's
hear
just
me
like
out.
look, it's just like synths, man. Everybody has their preference. Everybody has their preference. As
Yeah,
long as
but
it
your
makes you
preference is
happy,
wrong.
as long as it makes you happy, I'm cool. But don't ever try to serve me no steak that looks like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you to go put it back on the grill or in the oven or however you want to do
Listen, man, I'm just trying to tell you.
it. Make sure y'all comment.
Look at my
Make sure
steak.
y'all
That's
comment.
perfect.
And honestly, that looks more cooked than your normal steaks.
It
So
actually is.
I think I'm getting to you. I think I'm getting
That
to
is
you.
actually
See,
more cooked
I'm
than my
rubbing
normal
off
steak.
on you. It
No,
is.
the only reason it was more cooked was because I had to for my kids. But
Yeah, see, because the kids need to have properly cooked food.
Yo, guys, we should really have like we
a
should
cook-off.
bring you guys together, and we should do the producers cookout.
I'm
A
all
real
for it.
battle between two of you with some judges,
Right,
and we
right.
stream it live to Facebook.
If we're cooking salmon, I'm winning. If we're cooking steak, I'm winning. Fried
Uh,
chicken is where it's
I
gonna
don't cook
go up.
salmon. I don't cook salmon,
That's
so
because,
you
man,
you
listen,
definitely win on that. You definitely win on that.
listen,
But
man.
steak, man, yeah. I don't know. I like my steak cooked, man.
Now, if we get barbecue, we got to get Willie up in here too.
You wouldn't be able to compete in that arena
No,
right
no, I
there.
can't. Well,
That's not
I'm
your
East Coast. No, nobody
yeah,
on the
that's
East Coast
definitely
can
yeah.
compete. All right, listen, we'll close out the show. So, Joe, before we say bye to you, let me ask you, what's coming up this week for you? What do you got on deck?
Well, I got an interview I'm gonna be posting with Game from Busy Work with Beats. This is gonna be pretty dope. And then not quite sure what I'm gonna review this week. I'll probably have another freebie at the end of the Friday. I started a new thing called Freebie Friday. So every other Friday, like about twice a month, I try to kind of highlight some free stuff that's out there that's actually good for people. So just kind of mixing it up with that. But I mean, other than that, just the normal stuff, man. Posting
Cool.
info and make sure you stop by the site, check out the shop. We should be having something new from Flux here shortly. I'm not sure exactly when, so I won't say this week, but there'll definitely be.
We're
I don't.
hoping.
I mean, I don't know when you're launching, but whenever your new stuff comes out, that'll be there as well. So yeah, y'all know where to find me, man. Just follow me, support. I definitely appreciate it.
And what about you, Mike? What are you up to?
I'm probably going on holidays for 2 weeks. Don't know if
Fancy.
that means I will do no reviews for 14 days, something like
Right.
that. So, yeah, but I don't know. Actually, the first time this year, I'm almost done with all the stuff I had reviewing, so I'm looking forward for new toys and new
Nice.
stuff to check out. Yep. And I have to mention one more thing because I got two messages here on Facebook, and they say, "Why do you hate the mini low?" And I don't hate it. I don't, I don't hate it. It it is what it
Mini
is,
Long
and
Crew is coming out to fight you.
yeah, and it's a dope synth for what it's like. I just think maybe it was me getting a little too overexcited about it, and then I was a little bit disappointed in the end. But it's not a bad synth. If you consider it buying it, do it. Check it out yourself. Don't
Right.
listen to what I say in the Producers Hangout.
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I had a couple of friends who don't like it. I love it. I think that is one of the most polarizing synthesizers that I've seen in a while. People either love it or they hate it, and I personally love it. But yeah, that thing is, man, so many people are like love it or hate it on that thing. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be what do I got going on? Okay, so as of today, I just posted the Elysia character module review. It's a discrete Class A saturator distortion. Um,
Nope.
I'm extremely sad to finish that review because that means I have to send it on, and it's so dope. Like
Yeah.
it sounds awesome. Like I basically in the review I run it across the Tempest. I run it on some vintage drums and a bass line, and basically you can hear how that thing just kicks ass all over the place and is super controllable.
Yeah.
So that review is up now as of today. I have upcoming the Animodule MIDI gate module, which is actually going into this case. So I'll be doing that review. I've got KnobCon coverage coming up, Zoxbox review from Mode Machines, and my shop should be live very, very soon. I won't set an exact date because I keep
Yeah.
trying to, and then things keep pushing it back. But I got like 5 new products that are probably going to be launching with the site, so it should be really cool. And something major is going to be on the site that I haven't told anybody about yet. That's going to be coming really soon. So if you go to shop.fluxwithit.com, you can sign up for the newsletter. You'll get a big discount when the site goes live because I'm going to send out a coupon on there. And that's going to be awesome. So, but definitely check out
Nope.
the KnobCon coverage because I can't wait to say hi to all my friends from the Midwest and West Coast, and probably get into a fight with Chris Randall if he's there because that's always fun. So it's going to be good times.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
and we'll try to get the Producers Hangout show a little bit more consistent. We've had a long hiatus, but we really want to get the show back to more consistent shows again. So.
Yes.
Thanks for everybody for checking out the Producers Hangout Facebook group, and peace.
Peace.